So there's currently a trend going around that could potentially make you so many coins. And that trend is attribute crafting. Essentially, if you craft certain items, it generates with 2 random attributes. Even though the base item is the same, depending on the attributes on the item, they could potentially sell for way more. For instance, the cheapest glowstone gauntlet is 20k, and the prices range all the way up to almost 100 mil depending on the attributes. Now this method can be done with multiple items, and I've seen a lot of people saying they could potentially make between 50 and 200 mil an hour from doing this. So today I think we're going to put it to the test. Now of course, items that require sort of more collection in the crafting recipes are in turn probably going to make more coins. And as you can see, the crafting recipe to actually get a glowstone gauntlet is going to consist of 3 pieces of enchanted leather and 12 pieces of enchanted glowstone dust. The enchanted leather coming to just shy of 30k, and the glowstone coming to just shy of 20k, which means that we're going to pay around about 49k, let's say 50k per unit. So in other words, on average we need to make more than 50k per unit in order to profit. So I think I'm going to start off by maybe crafting like 20 and just seeing what that looks like. So in total we've spent around about 475k. Okay, now we're going to craft them. But before we do, maybe we should know what we're actually looking out for. For instance, the cheapest mana pool glowstone gauntlet is 300k. The cheapest breeze is 340k. The cheapest breeze mana pool is 575k, so if we got one of these, we'd profit straight away from everything. Okay, I guess it's time. Okay, we got mana pool, so that's decent coins already. We got another mana pool, so that's good again. I also miscalculated how much leather I would need, which was very clever. I think I need another 20. So we've actually spent more like 780k or something. Okay, so that's 3 mana pool. I honestly must have horribly miscalculated the leather. And another mana pool. And another mana pool. And another mana pool. So I think that's 5 or 6 mana pool. So we've actually ended up spending around about 850k on these 20 gemstone gauntlets. I think I keep calling it a gemstone gauntlet when it just isn't. It's glowstone. Okay, so the cheapest mana pool is now 360k. Now we've got 6, so we can sell them for maybe 350k each. Times that by 6, and we get... That's 2.1 mil. I guess we just sell the rest of them to the NPC because, I mean, there's probably no point in even trying to list them on the AH. They're going to sell for 20k each. But in maybe the 5 minutes it took us to craft, that's made us, what, like 1.3 mil profit. And to be honest, they sell for 20k back to the NPC, so it's kind of pointless not to. And this is just a quick reminder, you should really subscribe to the channel. If you do watch the videos and you aren't subscribed, become part of the 24%. Also, you should really join the Discord server. It's the top link in the description, and we're closing in on 10k members, so let's make it happen. If you need carries or anything like that, we've got you covered. Players, dungeons, you name it. Anyway, back to the stonks. So realistically, from crafting gemstone gauntlets, based off my luck, I think you could potentially make around 15 million coins an hour. That's obviously if you get the same luck as me. You might not get as lucky and you may get way luckier. Now that's nothing groundbreaking, but at the same time, I mean, your potential to lose coins is very low, and even if you do lose coins, it's not going to be a lot. Now if we look at something like an implosion belt, if you were to craft an implosion belt and get mana pool 1, you'd profit around 1 million coins. The implosion belt costs around about 1.4 million to craft, and as you can see, the cheapest implosion belt with mana pool 1 is close to 2.5 mil. But at the same time, if you don't get any good attributes, then you're going to lose quite a lot of coins. Considering it costs 1.4 mil to craft and the cheapest one, the AH, is just over 500k, you're going to almost lose 1 million coins if you don't get basically mana pool. And that's at a minimum. Now I would try this out, but I'm kind of let down a little bit by my sulfur collection. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to basically buy 20 more and then see how many coins we can make from that. Of course, it is completely down to luck. Something else I do want to mention is you can also basically merge the attributes on items. But I'm not going to get inside in this video, I'm just going to purely sell them as they are. So we've spent around about 850k again, and it's time to craft them and see what happens. Okay, so we've crafted 20, let's see. Okay, not great, not great. Decent, not great, not great. Not great, not great. Not great, not great. Nope. Yeah, okay. That one's not too bad either. That one's okay again. Not too bad then, I guess. So we end up getting 6 mana pool again and not really anything else. So it seems to be pretty consistent profit. Now the only real issue I have with this method is, well, look at this. Okay, space on the auction house is not great. And I guess this is probably why merging may be useful. Or fusing, should I say. That way you can essentially sell more with less spaces. Even though the goldstone gauntlets will sell for this price, they just take a while to sell. Now, it is kind of annoying that we didn't get anything like veteran or vitality, because by the looks of things, that seems to also be a big earner accompanied with mana pool. Although I think I've just realised why I'm not making a lot. So attributes like mana regeneration, breeze, dominance, veteran, and so on, attributes that I can't use, are some of the sort of big earners. And it turns out that obviously because I've not unlocked them, I'm not going to be able to get them on the pieces that I actually craft. Which basically means that I'm limited to getting mana pool. Mana pool's not bad, but it'd be better if you sort of got mana pool along with something else, and so on. And I think that obviously relates to me not being very progressed in the Crimson Isles, which is something that I need to work on, and I have been working on, but it's sort of dropped off a little bit in the last couple of weeks. But from my calculations, even just having mana pool unlocked, you could probably still quite comfortably make 15 mil an hour, which is not amazing. At that point, there's probably more efficient ways of making money. At the same time, it isn't really a grind, and it is really very straightforward, you know, it's simply crafting things. But now I understand where the bigger figures come from in comparison to my potential here. Also, I think this method probably was way more profitable, but because of a lot of exposure from videos and I guess, well, videos like this, more and more people have started to craft the items, and therefore the prices have dropped due to more supply. Which, as we know, is something that happens to a lot of money-making methods. So overall, for someone like me, it might not really be worth doing this method, even though it does make decent money. Although, for someone who is more progressed in the Crimson Isles, it may be more worth doing it, considering that your potential for profit is way higher than mine. I'd say one of the main pros is that it's just very straightforward, and it's a case of just buying items, crafting and selling. It's very easy. There's not really much grind involved other than having the coins. And I think you could potentially even make more coins if you had sulfur collection and crafted implosion belts instead. There's definitely a lot of money to be made here. Now, of course, you have to consider that it is also based off luck. Just like with other money-making methods, whether it's an RNG drop or AH flipping, you know, some things are out of your control. With auction house flipping, if nobody lists good flips, then you can't really buy them. And at the same time, with this money-making method, you could craft an item and get some ridiculous profit just off crafting one. At the same time, you could craft 300-400 and make a loss. So it is completely sort of luck. But anyway, I think that's just about going to wrap up today's video. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.